Why did God have to leave you single? You look around and it seems like everyone has moved on. Friends are getting married, having children, building happy families. Meanwhile, your love life seems stuck in time. You pray, you ask, you campaign, but the heavens remain silent. It's a feeling of neglect that hurts the soul deeply. But what if this silence isn't an abandonment by God? What if, in fact, it's the greatest proof of His love? We often confuse divine protection with personal rejection. Your singleness isn't a punishment for your past mistakes. It's an urgent safety measure for your future. There is a real danger in receiving something too soon. If you were to receive what you ask for today, you might lose it all tomorrow. The wrong blessing at the wrong time becomes a heavy curse. God is holding things together so that you don't fall apart. He has seen something ahead that you haven't yet seen. In this video, I'm not going to give you empty wait advice. We're going to analyze an ancient and often overlooked biblical pattern. There's a divine logic behind this temporary blockage. You'll understand why God was compelled to intervene, and why today's no is your deliverance. Stay with me until the end to flip this mental switch. What I'm about to show you is hidden in Genesis. It's a detail in the creation of man that almost no one notices. This completely changes how you see your loneliness. Let's decipher this mystery together right now. Everyone knows the story of the creation of Adam and Eve. But the exact chronology hides a fundamental secret. God did not create woman immediately after creating man. There was a time interval, a period of purposeful singleness, and it was God who created this interval, not chance. Notice that God said, "It is not good for man to be alone." But interestingly, He didn't solve the problem right away. He diagnosed the loneliness, but kept Adam in it for a while. This shows us that solitude had a pedagogical function. Adam needed to feel the lack before receiving companionship. If Eve had appeared in the first second of Adam's life, he wouldn't have understood her value or necessity. She would have been just another creature in the garden. Her absence fostered the necessary appreciation for their relationship. God used that time alone to prepare Adam's heart. Often, God leaves us alone to awaken our conscience. It's not to torture us, but to make us understand. You need to know who you are before uniting with someone. Without this time of solitude, we don't value the promised land. Adam's singleness was the first premarital course in history. Therefore, don't see this time as a delay in the calendar. See it as the necessary time for your identity to mature. God is creating the perfect scenario for the encounter. He is not late, He is being extremely didactic, and Adam's next step proves exactly this theory. Before bringing Adam a wife, God gave him a job. Genesis 2:19 says that God brought the animals for Adam to name. Imagine the scene. Adam working, sorting, organizing the garden. He was busy with his purpose before thinking about marriage. Mission came before passion in the order of divine priorities. While naming the animals, Adam realized something very important. Each animal had a mate, but he couldn't find his. It was the work that revealed the need for a helper. He only realized he needed someone while fulfilling his calling. The purpose revealed the gap that needed to be filled. Many people want a relationship only to later discover their purpose. But the biblical order is exactly the opposite. You discover what you came to do on earth, and then you need help. The helper or partner comes to contribute to the mission. If you don't have a mission, why do you need a partner? God keeps you single so you can focus on building your life. He wants you to spend your energy discovering your calling. A relationship right now would only be a distraction from your purpose. You would be trying to please someone instead of growing. God locks the door to dating so you can open the door to destiny. When you're running your own race, the right person will appear, not to complete you because you are already complete in God, but to overflow with you in the same direction. Singleness is the time to build the empire where your family will live. Don't waste this precious time lamenting what you don't have. The Bible gives us a serious warning about not knowing how to wait. Abraham and Sarah had the promise of a son, Isaac. But God's delay caused them to try to help. They used human logic and fathered Ishmael with their servant. It was a quick solution to a problem that seemed eternal. Ishmael represents the relationships we forcefully create. That kind of dating you know isn't from God, but you persist. That person you accept just to avoid being alone. It seems to solve an immediate need, but it brings long-lasting consequences. Ishmael brought conflict to Abraham's tent for the rest of his life. God keeps you single to protect you from creating your own Ishmaels. He knows that in desperation you would accept any crumb. He closes doors so that you don't enter the wrong places. God's blocking is the guarantee that the promise will come pure. He prefers that you suffer the waiting rather than the consequence of error. Often, what we call an opportunity is a temptation. The enemy knows you are needy and sends the bait. If God weren't holding you back, you would have already taken the hook. He is saving you from years of therapy and emotional pain. Be grateful for the relationships that didn't work out. These were deliverances disguised as rejection. God removed people from your life who would hinder your future. He cleared the ground so that the true Isaac could be born. Don't try to fix your love life. Wait for the time of promise, not the ease of a shortcut. There is a profound spiritual reason for your current singleness. Often, we turn relationships into an idol in our hearts. We think we will only be happy when we find the one. We place the expectation of salvation on a flawed human being. This is, in practice, a subtle form of idolatry. God is jealous and does not share his glory with anyone. As long as your happiness depends on having someone, you will not have them. God needs to be the sole source of your satisfaction and joy. If he gave you someone now, you would smother that person. You would demand that they fill a void that only God fills. God keeps you single to heal this emotional dependency. He wants you to learn to be happy simply in his presence. It's a detoxification process from the need for external approval. When you no longer need a relationship to feel alive, then you will be ready for a healthy relationship. Needy people attract predators or other needy people. It's a recipe for a toxic and destructive relationship. God is breaking this vicious cycle in your life right now. He is teaching you to be whole, not a half searching for another. Two whole people make a pair. Two halves make a mess. The desert of solitude is where God breaks our idols. He shows us that his grace is truly sufficient for us. When you understand this, anxiety disappears. And interestingly, it is when anxiety leaves that the blessing arrives. God releases the gift when the gift ceases to be the God. Imagine you're going to build a 2-story house. You can't put the roof on before you've laid the foundations. If you do, the house will collapse in the first heavy rain. Marriage is the roof, the heavy structure of adult life. Singleness is the time to dig and lay the foundation. God looks at you and sees that the structure is not yet strong enough. He sees cracks in your character, in your patience, in your faith. If he were to place the weight of a family on you now, you would break. He keeps you single to strengthen your inner pillars. It is a time of work, of reform, of inner strengthening. Nobody likes living in a house under construction, with dust and noise. But it's the most important phase of the entire construction. God is working on your temperament, your vices, your fears. He is making you a person capable of sustaining a covenant. Marriage doesn't solve character problems, it amplifies them. If you are impatient when single, you will be unbearable when married. If you are selfish when alone, you will be a tyrant with a partner. Singleness is the laboratory where God refines who you are. He is ensuring that you are a blessing, not a burden. The delay is, in fact, a divine quality control. Don't complain about the delay in building your character. A well-founded house withstands any storm. God is investing time in you because the project is big. He doesn't want to give you a disposable marriage, but an eternal one. And eternal things require lengthy and profound preparation. Even Jesus went through the school of waiting before acting. He lived 30 years in anonymity for only 3 years of ministry. Think about the proportion. 90% of his life was preparation. He didn't skip steps. He respected the maturation time. If the Son of God himself waited, who are we to rush? Jesus used this time to grow in grace and wisdom. He worked, honored his parents, and learned a trade. He didn't sit around waiting for ministry to fall from the sky. Your singleness should be active, productive, and full of meaning. Use this time to become the best version of yourself. Many want Jesus' miracles, but not his patience. We want the stage, but we reject the backstage preparation. Your singleness is your backstage time with God. It's where you gain the spiritual strength you'll need. Don't underestimate the value of these quiet years. It was in the silence of Nazareth that Jesus was forged as a man. It is in the silence of your room that you are forged as a Christian. The world sees the result, but God sees the process. And God is much more interested in who you are becoming than in how quickly you reach your goals. Follow the Master's example and value the time of preparation. When the time comes, the impact will be much greater. A well-prepared life is worth 10 hurried lives. God wastes nothing, not even your waiting time. Everything is working together for the grand finale he has written. There is a specific protection against being unequally yoked. Sometimes the person you want isn't going where you're going. If God allowed that union, you would get out of their way. Being unequally yoked isn't just about religion, it's about direction. Two oxen tied together need to walk at the same pace. God keeps you single because the right person hasn't arrived yet, or because the right person is still being prepared far away. If you were to unite with someone now, you might miss your destiny. God prefers that you walk alone rather than in bad company. The wrong company can delay your purpose by decades. Imagine tying your leg to someone who wants to go south while God is calling you to go north. You wouldn't get anywhere and would hurt each other all the time. Singleness is the freedom to run without wrong constraints. It's the guarantee that when you marry, it will be to add speed. Many people have lost their calling because of the wrong marriage. They buried their talents and dreams to please a blind partner. God loves you too much to let that happen to you. He blocks out the almost to save the place for the right. Trust that God's selection is infinitely better than yours. God's filter is rigorous because his purpose is high. Don't try to bypass the gate of God's will. Whoever enters through the window ends up being expelled through the door. Accept the blockage as a sign of paternal care. God is guarding your heart for the one who will take care of it. God doesn't do calculations like we do here on earth. For us, 1 + 1 = 2. But for God, 1 runs for 1,000, and 2 put 10,000 to flight, says the Bible. But for this multiplication to happen, the union must be divine. A carnal union only divides and subtracts strength. God wants to exponentially increase your life through marriage, but this only happens when both of you are aligned with him. While you are single, you are number 1, growing stronger. If you join with a 0, you will remain just 1. Or worse, you could be dragged down and become a fraction. God keeps you single to ensure the mathematics of the kingdom. He wants to add strength, not carry dead weight. The waiting period serves to make you a strong and unwavering 1, and so that your future spouse also becomes a strong 1. When 2 strong people meet, hell trembles with fear. Don't let yourself be diminished by the rush to gain status. Your singleness is a high-return investment. You are accumulating spiritual, emotional, and financial capital. When the time comes, you will have much to offer. Marriage is an exchange of riches, not a division of miseries. Therefore, view your life today as an investment account. Each day of prayer, study, and work is a deposit. God is managing this asset with infinite wisdom. In due time, he will withdraw it for your wedding, and the interest from this waiting will be the happiness you seek. We've reached the crucial point of our conversation today. You understand that God had to keep you single. It was for protection, for preparation, and for a greater purpose. Now you have 2 options in the face of this liberating truth. Continue complaining or start preparing yourself for real. Change the focus of your prayer starting today. Stop desperately asking, God, send me someone. Start praying, God, prepare me for what you have in store. This change in attitude alters the entire spiritual atmosphere. You move from the position of victim to the position of child. Embrace the freedom of single life to serve with all your might. Travel, study, start businesses, help people, do God's work. Don't put your life on hold waiting for a ring on your finger. Life happens now, and God is in it with you. Be happy today, and tomorrow will take care of itself. If this video changed your perspective, I have a request. Comment below with the word purpose in capital letters. This will be our secret code for those who understood the message. Show God and the world that you are focused on the kingdom, and that your waiting is not passive but full of meaning. And of course, if you want to decipher more biblical mysteries like this, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell right now. Every week we bring the Bible into your daily life. God bless you.